Scanning electron microscope is kind of an amazing instrument that we use to image very tiny objects. And light microscopes, they use glass lenses to focus light. But SEMs use electron beams because the electrons are much smaller than the light particles to focus. So you can see extremely small objects that way. We can get really detailed three-dimensional images using scanning electron microscopes that really aren't available using light microscopes. Magnifications can be as high as 250,000 to 500,000 times actual size on the SEMs. Basically what they do is coat the sample with gold and sometimes even with palladium, and it makes the sample conductive to the electron beam. And then they load it into the scanning electron microscope in a high vacuum chamber so it doesn't scatter. You don't have air molecules to scatter the electron beam as it's being focused on the object. So again, you can get really tiny focuses on things that you have in the SEM. And the electron beam is basically just working like a television camera. As it sweeps back and forth across your sample, it's actually knocking electrons off the surface of your sample. And then over on the side of the vacuum chamber is what they call a secondary electron detector, and it detects these electrons as they get knocked off the surface of the sample. And the angle that they hit this detector then makes the three-dimensional image that you can see on a television monitor. And since there's no color part of the signal, all you get is a black and white image. But then it can be colored later on in different types of programs on your computer. Now, several images of a quartz crystal where we're going from low to high magnification. You can see increasingly smaller and smaller objects on this. In the nanosciences, you're going to be looking at objects that are usually less than 100 nanometers. And you can see those, just barely start to see those size particles on the last image of the quartz crystals. So you can see that you're working with extremely small particles